Yo people, welcome to Mastering the Markets episode 4 part 2 season 1. That is a mouthful. So today I entered a trade on EU this morning, as you can see here. Basic premise for this trade was during last week I saw a big sell-off and I was very bearish. Continuing into this week I was very bearish. Over the weekend I had a few. Let me see if I can actually just bring it up on my phone for you and if I can actually make it visible on the camera, because if I cannot then I'm gonna have to go again. But as you can see, maybe you can see, maybe you can't. Yeah, so basically I uploaded, this was the last trade, this was the last trade I took last weekend, last week, which you will see in part 1 of this episode of part 1 of episode 4, which I uploaded just before, which is the video that you'll see on my channel prior to this. I entered that trade last week. We hit TP on Friday. We hit 3.5 RR and I closed out half the position on Thursday. We hit full TP on Friday morning at about 6 a.m. And as you can see, these white lines were what I marked out on Friday for my next week liquidity draws, where I wanted to see price hit next week. But as you can see in the photo, we hit all of my higher time frame liquidity draws over the weekend, and obviously wasn't trading over the weekend, wasn't holding any position, markets are closed. So we came to the charts this morning and I noticed that we had this 15-minute fair value gap that got respected and pushed off of. Then in the London Open Silver Bullet session, I saw there was this fair value gap that I could have entered on an inversion because I was bearish on the day. So I could have entered on the inversion of this fair value gap, stops above here. However, I don't really like to enter on inversions. I like to enter on placing my limits on the fair value gap based on my bias. So my bias is bearish. I didn't want to enter on a bullish fair value gap inversion because I'm just more comfortable entering, like I said, on the corresponding fair value gap. So I waited for this fair value gap to spawn in here, as you can see, or to print here. I placed my limit order on this trade, 3.6 pips stop loss, simple London session open silver bullet strategy. Got tapped in for 4RR. Proof of entry. Let me just show you that. Let me actually not show you my password, 1 second, because I do not want to get hacked or anything of the sort. Reload, hurry up, load. Cool, boom. As you can see here, we had, as you can see, I entered the sell, 8.55, the trade got tapped in. I placed my limit around 8.50, and as you can see, we closed out for a net P&L of 34, which adds up after what am I trying to say? After commission and everything like that, we closed out for $99, which is about essentially 1 or 2% on the account. So that's just proof of entry for that. I am done for the day unless I see a perfect entry model in New York session. It is the start of the week, so I'm kind of happy with taking a 4R win, a 2% win on Monday, and potentially not trading for the rest of the day. Actually, no, I am lying to you. I am not going to be trading during London session. Oh no, I can today. It's tomorrow that I don't want to trade New York session because there's USD news. So today, if there's a potential setup on EU, for example, I would like to see a pushback up to London session highs, a sweep of these highs over here, blah, 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 retracement into some form of zone, and then a sell-off down to London session lows is what I'll be looking for. But this is the trade I have just entered this morning, and we won, as I showed you proof. Yeah, and I'll be back in the next clip, depending on if I trade today or tomorrow. If I trade tomorrow, it will simply just be London session open that I trade, because like I said, there is USD news at 1:30, and if the news doesn't affect price too much, I will trade the 3 to 4 p.m. AM session New York silver bullet for an entry, but I will not be trading New York open just based off of that news. Yo, I got my lunch, but like I said this morning, we took this trade here during the London session silver bullet, or London open silver bullet, for a sell. And like I said earlier, I will be looking for another sell later in the day during New York session if we can come up to this area, London high, sweep out some sort of liquidity. I'd like to see something like this, sweep out of a liquidity here. push back down to break some sort of structure here, and then to break some structure here, and then a retracement back into some form of supply zone hit up here to sell then down back to London session lows. That's what I'm looking for, and I will update you and let you know if this does play out. If not, I'm not going to place a trade today. Not going to force it. Yo, I've just been sat here just playing some game online, waiting for something to occur. Now, we haven't had a sweep of these London session highs like I wanted to get into a typical, or my typical London, or New York session open trade. However, we have now come to the 3 to 4 p.m. session, which is where I look for a silver bullet entry. As we haven't come up to here, I would like to see a 5-minute fair value gap present itself during the 3 to 4 p.m. session and look to sell down to London session lows regardless. Still, it would be better if we could get some sort of inducement into this zone up here, a sweep of here or a sweep of here. But I will still just be looking for a 5-minute fair value gap to get into sales, something like this, blah blah blah, down to London session lows. But we'll see what occurs, and I'll let you know. Yo, so we haven't got what we wanted to see. We didn't get a fair value gap to. Why do I keep going to say spawn? I mean, spawn makes sense. Everyone knows what I mean. We didn't get a fair value gap in the 3 to 4 window. And we didn't get a sweep of London highs during New York session, so we have not got into a trade today. I may potentially come and have a look at the charts 7 to 8 p.m. for the PM session silver bullet. Don't normally trade it, but I'll have a look and see if the perfect opportunity has presented itself. But I'm out. Bro, what the hell going on with my trim right now, bro? What the hell going on with my trim and shit, bro? But good morning, people. I literally haven't even bothered to get ready fully before coming to the charts, just because there's a lot of stuff going on. As you can see on GBP/JPY, or as of right now, it's between the hours of 8 and 9. Silver bullet, London session silver bullet open is what I'm looking to trade right now. We've come up on on GBP/JPY into this 1-minute supply zone. Very wicky supply zone, not sure how I feel about it. So this will be my second option on the day, or this session. We're about to print this 5-minute fair value gap here, or something of the sort. Potentially we could get a silver bullet entry on this fair value gap once we finish printing it, unless we come and fill it right now. Something like this, blah blah blah, stops above the candlestick that formed it, TPs down to Asian session lows. However, because of the way that this supply zone is, I'm not really, realistically, if I draw this supply zone out correctly, it would be down to here, which means we've already mitigated the supply zone at some point already. So I'm not too sure how I feel about this trade. If I do enter this trade, it will probably be with literally half of what I normally risk. I normally risk 0.5%, so I only risk 0.25% on this. So I'm not too sure if I will enter that. However, on Euro USD, we have Asian session highs here. Boom. We have swept out Asian session highs. Boom. Top left. Yeah, we've swept out Asian session highs here, and we have the potential to create a fair value gap in the next coming 15 minutes to get an entry off of. That would be nicer for a sell down to Asian session lows. However, I'm not too sure if that's going to play out in the next 15 minutes, just simply because we need 3 more candlesticks to form very bearishly to create that fair value gap. So it doesn't look like we're going to get that entry. So it looks like this morning the potential entry will be on GBP/JPY. As you can see, we are about to form some form of a fair value gap. Bish bash bosh. Tiny fair value gap formed. If I do enter this, I will have to get into this position in the next literally 30 seconds, and I don't even think I'll have time to do so. So we'll see if, would it be a good enough risk to reward? It would be. Let me see if I can enter this, or if by the time I enter this, this already happened. Let's have a look. So I just went to use the position size calculator and calculate my size. I could enter this trade literally right now, which I believe I am going to do. Now, actually, no, we've pushed away a bit too much. Yeah, fair enough. I'm a bit too late on this because the fair value gap was so small and was printed right at the end. So I might not have a chance to get into this trade unless we push back up right now. What was it? What did it tell me? It told me 0.31. I'm not too sure. 1 second, guys. Okay, so I managed to get in the trade. The reason I had to just cut the camera a little bit is because not because I was bringing up my trading dashboard, but because I was having to wait until, because as you can see, when you enter off a fair value gap entry on the silver bullet model, you want to enter on the fair value gap, and price had already pushed down a little bit, so I was waiting to see if price would push back up to give me my original essential or accurate entry, and it did. So then I market executed by just clicking sell instead of placing another limit, but I had to do it in a very precise time and manner. That's why I didn't show. But however, I will come here and just show proof of entry so you guys can see. Obviously, we're in the cells now. That is the proof of that. Blah blah blah, and I will update you on what happens. Like I said, I'm not as confident about this entry as I would be normally on Euro USD or a typical GBP JPY. I typically like to trade London session sweep. I don't really trade silver bullet on GBP JPY. However, the trade opportunity presented itself, and we will see what does occur based off of this. In tandem with this 1 minute supply zone or this 5 minute supply zone that we tapped into and kind of respected, it could play out to be a nice trade. If not, lesson learned. And we'll only risk 0.5 or we'll only lose 0.5%. I ended up going with 0.5%. I didn't want to change my strategy and going with 0.25%. So this is 0.5% and we'll see what happens. I'll update you on that. I don't believe, no real opportunity on Euro USD unless in the next, we're not even going to get an opportunity in the next 5 minutes because in the next 10 minutes, because in the next 10 minutes, 2 more candles will form. This candle will form, another candle will form. And that won't provide us with the 3 candlestick pattern for a silver bullet London or a London session silver bullet entry. So we'll just leave it at that. We'll leave it at GBP JPY for today, and I'll let you know what happens with this later on in the day if we hit stop loss or take profit. I believe I'll get rid of this supply zone just to make everything a little bit more clear and precise. But yeah, manners people, that's what I'm in, and like I said, I'll update you. And just like that, we have been stopped out literally within 10 minutes. Is what it is. That's what I like about this strategy. You either lose very fast or you're confirmed about your correct bias or your wrong bias for the trade very quickly. So we lost that trade already, 0.5%. Like I said, it was simply just a London session open silver bullet entry. So we lost that and we're out of it. However, like I said with Euro USD, I didn't believe that we could print some form of fair value gap in those next minutes. However, it looks like we potentially may form a fair value gap here, and if we do, the next candlestick could potentially close within the 8 to 9 session, and we could potentially get in an entry for a silver bullet down to London session or Asian session lows. So I might get in for another trade this morning and let you guys know if I do. If I don't, then I'll also let you know. Or I might not record if I don't, but this is what I might also get into right now. So yes, guys, as I said, I have just entered this Euro USD positions. Limit on the top of this, on the bottom of this fair value gap stops above the 3 candlestick pattern that created the fair value gap entry model, or whatever you would like to call it. If we come and tap this within the next 5 minutes, I will stay in the trade. If not, I will close my positions or close my limits, my orders, and be done for the day, because today we have CPI or PPI at 130, and I don't want to be holding a trade through that point on any sort of pair with a USD in its name. Unfortunately, it looks like we are going to get pipped out of this trade and we might continue heading down. If not, and we carry on heading up, I would like to see this carry on heading up just to confirm I got out at the right point. However, as you can see, this might be a good entry if we can come back up. Tap me in the next 3 minutes and 39 seconds. I'll let you know. I might not let you know now because I got to head out to go training in about 10 minutes. So we'll see what happens. Yo. So as you can see, we haven't been tapped into the trade. I'm about to close my orders on Euro USD. We're right about direction. We did push down exactly where I wanted to go. We just didn't get tapped into this fair value gap, which is the name of the game. You win some, you lose some. We got stopped out of GJ, like I said, and pushed back down. I'm hoping that we continue up just so I don't get annoyed about the fact that we got pipped out and then price goes directly to my TP. We'll see what happens. Is what it is. It's part of the game. But yeah, that's me for today. Won't be trading again today. Manners and respect, people. Yo, people. Yo. So, the most annoying thing happened. As you know, I had my limit order set here. My stop was going to be above this point here. And my TP was going to be down at London session lows or Asian session lows. Can't get annoyed because at the end of the day, if my trade doesn't get tapped in, when I'm trading the silver bullet method, if I don't get into the trade within the 8 to 9 a.m. window, then I get rid of my limits. The trade can run after 9 a.m. However, if I'm not tapped into it within that time frame, unfortunately, we don't enter. Rules are rules. We follow rules for a specific reason because there's been many times where this situation would happen and I get rid of my limit order, for example, and price just pushes straight through it after 9 a.m., which saved me the loss. So we can't sit here and be like, oh, we would have made profit, we would have closed out half at exactly 3R and then blah, 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 let the rest run all the way to 3.2R. We can't, actually my TP, I had my position on 50%, so we would have closed out half at 3R, which would have been here, and then let the rest run down to full volume. We can't do that. Rules are rules, they're in place for a reason. I just wanted to come and basically explain that and say, rules are rules, your trading plan is your trading plan, follow your trading plan to a T. Unfortunately, like I said, we missed out on that. We would have got tapped in at about, let's see, when did we come up? 9:15, so it's a 15-minute difference. It's unfortunate, can sit here and get annoyed, but I just have to sit there and think about all the losses I have avoided by following my trading plan to a T. Rules are rules, and you'll become a good trader, and I will become a good trader by following the rules and following the plan. So that's just what happens sometimes. Like, you know, we took the loss this morning on GJ. Also very annoying as well because we had our limit here. We had our stop loss above this high, above the three candlestick pattern that created the fair value gap. We had our TP down at Asian session lows down here. This is London session open here. I'm gonna sneeze. But yeah, man, can't get annoyed about it. We would be floating in profit right now. We would have closed out half if we didn't get wicked out. But these are woulds, these are shoulds, these are could'ves, these are maybes. And in the trading game, we don't go off those maybes. We go off absolutes, and we follow our trading plan. So it's annoying. We missed out on, like I said, I mean, we didn't miss out on anything. We got stopped out, followed our plan. It is annoying, but these things happen, and we'll just have to turn up tomorrow when tomorrow there's GBP CPI, and then there's also USD CPI. So tomorrow doesn't look like a trading day. Thursday doesn't look like a trading day because there's GDP and retail sales. Friday, retail sales, GBP. So it doesn't look like we're going to trade until maybe on Thursday. Actually, tomorrow we can't trade London or New York. We could potentially trade if the news clears up and isn't too volatile. We could potentially trade the 3 to 4 p.m. silver bullet tomorrow. And today, if, like I said, once again, PPI news isn't too wild, we could trade the 3 to 4 p.m. silver bullet today on EU. But I probably, unless I can come to the charts at 3 to 4 p.m. today, completely level-headed, not annoyed about the losses. I mean, I'm not really annoyed about losses that I took this morning. I'm just marking out this structure point here, side zone, just for structure for later on in the day if we get some sort of reaction, an inducement of this zone. But yeah, man, I might trade today 3 to 4 p.m. if some form of a setup does form in front of me on the silver billet hour. If not, we just got to take these days on the chin, you know. We hit a very good trade last week. We hit a very good trade yesterday. So can't complain. These things happen. We lost 0.5% today, this morning on GJ. And it is what it is, man. It is what it is. And I'll be back with you tomorrow or later today for another trading session. I actually have no idea what's going on right now because my mic seems to be delayed in a few of the clips during this video. It's not horribly bad, but obviously it's just a bit annoying because I'm speaking and it's like delayed by probably 0.2 of a second. So I'm saying something and my lips are moving faster than the words are actually coming out. I don't know if it's happened to all of the clips. It doesn't seem like it's happened to all of the clips. So I'm just currently trying to figure out what's wrong with that. I do apologize for it, so I'm just going to put this clip at the start of the video. You might even see right now that it's happening right now, which is why I'm recording this video, to see if I fixed it or not. If I can't figure out how to fix it before this video goes live, I do apologize. I can't change it in the clips simply because they've already been recorded and I've already spoken about those trades and so forth, live trading and things like that. So I do apologize. I'm going to try to figure out what the hell is going on, but we'll see what happens. Yo people, so it is now 3 p.m. and news came out, pushed price up, but we pushed price into a zone. I don't think it was really news because the news came out and as you can see 0.0, 0.2, so it didn't really come out, I don't know how to word that, it didn't really come out in a unexpected way. The numbers are very understandable and very close to what they should have been and what they were predicted to be. So I don't believe this was because of news. However, we have come up to London session highs, as you can see here, and swept them out. Now, what I am looking for is a casual or a simple, what am I trying to say? A simple break of structure down here, retracement into a supply zone for my entry, and then a push down to London session lows. So have we, wait, let me get rid of that. Here we have broken structure here, boom, broken structure here. Now there is a 1 minute supply zone here, and I will be entering off of this. I would prefer to see first this candlestick close below this zone because this is still a low. We did break structure here, as that is a, we broke below here on the 1 minute. We had a candlestick closure below this point, which is very nice. So I could put this as a break of structure. I would like to put a limit order here, stops above 5 pips, TP all the way down. So I'm going to go and sort that out and get back to you. Okay guys, so as you can see, we had a 1 minute break of structure. Maybe this was also a 3 minute, no, we had a 1 minute break of structure here. We broke this low here because this was a low. We pushed up here, we came back down, we broke this low. We are looking to enter on this supply zone, which is a 1 minute, technically a 3 minute supply zone, the last push up before a move down. I've got my entry here on this supply zone at 1.02733. 3 RR, I've got an alert to close half of the position if we do get tapped in, and then I will be taking full volume all the way down at London session lows. So people, as you can see, we have just been tapped into the trade at this supply zone. Going to go and head to the shops now, just so I'm not constantly watching this. I like to enter the trades, then kind of forget about them. We either hit stop loss or we hit take profit. So that's that. We came back directly to the zone very nicely. We had a much deeper break of structure, which was nice. I originally had my break of structure based off of this point here. However, looking at it again, this was technically the low that led to this high where the liquidity sweep occurred. So break of structure regardless on the 1 minute time frame. Push back up to the supply zone. See what takes place. Yo guys, I haven't even left to go to the shop yet, but we've been stopped out. Originally, I was thinking as soon because we got stopped out and then we dropped right back down. I got stopped out right here. There was a little tiny bit of slippage that I got stopped out at. I was originally thinking to re-enter this position because what I didn't notice was this higher time frame area here, which could have been. So we swept out London highs, like I mentioned. Swept out London highs, break of structure on the 1 minute, blah blah blah. But what I didn't realize was this zone all the way over here, which we have obviously come to sweep out. Now, I'm unsure if I should enter this again if we do come back down and drop down. Simply because if we get a big enough displacement down and form another supply zone, I will enter again for another 0.5% of risk. I lost a trade in this morning on GBP JPY for 0.5. Lost this trade for 0.5. Normally, typically, I would end on 2 losses for the day and I won't trade again. However, I am also very aware that this might have just been my mistake with my initial entry, not paying attention to this higher area of liquidity that needed to be swept out. If we displace nicely enough down to the sell side after sweeping out this, create another break of structure and essentially create the same thing again, I will re-enter because I am confident in my bias for the day and I'm not placing another trade simply just because I've lost and I want to get back in and make something. The reason I'll be placing this trade is because my bias for the day will still be completely correct. My entry strategy will still present itself and I will place that another trade if we get that displacement before too late in the day. Now the only reason I'm doing this, or potentially will do this, is because, like I said, the entry model will still be valid if I see what I want, and also because for the rest of the week we have a lot of news. We have CPI tomorrow on the pound, CPI on US dollar, then on Thursday we have GDP in the morning, retail sales for the US dollar at 130. I'm not going to be able to trade on Wednesday or Thursday, and maybe even I'll be able to trade a New York session on Friday. Now, because I won't be able to place any trades in the next 2 days, I'm okay with potentially taking another loss today for another 0.5% because I won't be able to actually risk any percentage later on in the week. So I'm okay with potentially taking another loss. However, as you can see, we have pushed up very, very high. Unless we are coming to test this 4-hour or this 2-hour fair value gap, and we get some sort of displacement off of this, I won't be entering. But like I said, if I see what I want to see, I will be getting back in for another sell on this sort of entry model or this session. So most likely not going to enter again, as we have pushed into this 2-hour fair value gap and we haven't really had any sort of a bearish reaction off of it. We're probably, if we've invalidated this whole fair value gap in the next 4 minutes, that will be even nicer to confirm that we're definitely not going to get into the trade. Like I said, I wanted to see a push into the fair value gap. We came up to the 50%, pushed down a little bit, but haven't had a displacement off of it as much or as aggressively as I would have liked. So most likely not going to get into the trade. And I'll be back on, when did I say we'll be able to trade again? I think it was Friday. Yeah, back on Friday, people. Yo people, good morning. I completely forgot yesterday when I was talking about the fact that there was news. Let me show you. There's CPI on GBP, but I completely forgot I trade EU. So I was thinking to myself, bless me, I was thinking to myself, I can't trade in the morning because there's GDP or CPI, but I trade Euro USD. I just can't trade GBP JPY. So as you can see, we've had essentially a sweep out of Asian session highs, blah blah blah. You could class this as Asian session highs because that is the 15-minute high. We've had a sweep out of Asian session highs. We've then had a change of character here, mark it out for you. Chalk right here, bottom center. Let me add my arrows to that hole. We've had a change of character here. Then we have also had a break of structure along here, EOS. We then created this 3-minute supply zone here. Simple sweep of liquidity, change of character, break of structure, retracement into the supply zone. TP's down at Asian session lows. Simple as that. I'm looking to get into this trade, or I have placed my limits on this supply zone. And we're gonna see what happens, bro. We're gonna see what happens, bro. But what I will say about this trade is we do need to get out of this trade. If we do get tapped in, we do need to get out of the trade before 1:30, because at 1:30, as you can see, we have CPI on the US dollar and we are trading Euro USD. So most likely we'll be out of this trade anyway before then, if we do get tapped in, as most of my trades nowadays on EU and GU, I don't trade GU anymore. I still have a look at it, because if I go to GBP USD, you'll see that we move similarly to EU. I just kind of prefer trading EU or Euro USD because it moves more, how do I say this? It moves more in respect to what should happen based off what you see. Euro USD is slightly slower than GBP USD, and it respects structure, respects imbalances, respects supply and demand slightly more than GBP USD, just because anything with GBP obviously is slightly more volatile, or anything with USD is more volatile. So you pair GBP with USD and it's more volatile, which means it's going to disrespect certain zones a lot more than, for example, Euro USD. Let's say, just to make it make sense to you guys, for example, when trading Euro USD, and if I look for fair value gaps between the hours of 8 and 9 a.m., 7 times out of 10 that fair value gap gets respected and I can get an entry off of it. Where if I'm trading GBP USD, from my experience, 5 times out of 10 that fair value gap gets respected. So it still does get respected, and it still does follow what I do want to occur. Euro USD just simply does it a bit more, and I have a better win rate on Euro USD, which is why I don't really trade GBP USD. But I'll update you guys. I literally rolled out of bed like 10 minutes ago. I just because in the morning I have my alarm to set to go off in the morning. I look at the charts. If there's no like draw on liquidity near, or if there's nothing I see fit to happen on the day, I won't bother to get out of bed and trade, because there's just no point in me coming to my computer sitting here for no reason unless there's something I'm actually looking for. So I saw this, realized, wait, I'm being an idiot. I can trade London session because I'm trading Euro USD. That news won't affect Euro USD. And yeah, I'll let you know what happens with this trade. Hello people. So the trade is running nicely. We did get tapped in. We originally came up to it, pushed down a bit, and then came back up. We were holding this support level, or this resistance level, strong. We're coming down to these equal lows that we keep reversing off of. I would like to see a break below this point of structure here to be confident to carry on continuing to hold this. We do have news at 1:30, so I'm hoping that we can push down deep into profit before then, because I would like to close the trade out ideally before the news does hit, as there's a 4-minute window on propfirm trading where you cannot enter or exit a trade even if you have your stop loss and the take profit set out. So we'll see what happens and I'll update you on that. Yo people, so that USD news drops in 30 minutes and I'm still in this trade. It's a bit annoying because this some prop firms have quite stupid rules, like no trading. Obviously you can't gamble news, I understand that, but it's like I've been in this trade since this morning, which is why I'm looking for a different prop firm very soon, because the other prop firm I found, if you've already been in the trade and news is happening, it's fine. It doesn't matter even if your stop loss or your take profit gets hit, because you've already been in the trade before the news was coming out. Whereas with this propfirm account, if I hit stop loss or take profit, even if I move my stop loss to break even and we get stopped out at break even, I think it gives me like some sort of a soft breach. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove my take profit, because if my take profit gets hit within the 4-minute window before and after news, or 2 minutes before or after news, so a 4-minute window, any profits I make from the trade won't be counted on the account once I go to request a withdrawal. So what I believe I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna go to break even when just before news, or probably right now. I'm gonna go to break even and then remove my take profit order on my trading dashboard. And then once the news 4-minute window ends, if we have come past where I wanted to take profits, then I will manually close the trade after that 4-minute window. If we get stopped out, we get stopped out at the end of the day. Because if I was, for example, trading a propfirm account, the new propfirm account that I do want to get, if I was on that account and we get stopped out because of news, it would be fine. So I'm essentially just going to trade how I would trade, or how I'm going to trade once I get the new propfirm. So I'm going to go break even on this in a second, and then remove take profit and close manually after that 4-minute window. Yo, what's good, people? As you can see, we have had a sweep of London session highs, and we created a fair value gap in the 3 to 4 p.m. session, AM session silver bullet. I have got my limit order here, waiting to get tapped in. I will let you know if we hit stop loss or take profit or whatever the situation is. But what I did want to talk about is how I'm so vexed. So I entered this trade the other day, as you know, probably I spoke about in the last clip. I entered this trade and we were floating around in profit. I told you about how I was going to remove my take profit. So if price dumped all the way down, the trade I didn't breach my account for closing a trade or getting out of a trade within that 2-minute window either side of news. And I put my stop loss to break even. So I still took my stop loss to break even, and then there was a power outage in my flat, or in Loughborough where I live, and we didn't have power for hours and hours and hours. I had already moved my stop loss to break even. I had data on my phone, so I was able to look on my phone and see what happened. So we got stopped out at break even, or so I thought. I log into my trading dashboard on my phone, and I got slipped out minus 2.5%. So instead of being down 4% or 4.5% on the account, I am now down 7% on the account because I got slipped out. When, as you can clearly see, I had my stop loss at break even, completely break even, and I got slipped out. So I am definitely looking to get a new broker because I got 2.5%. It's not like I got slipped out 0.5%. It's not like I got slipped out 1%. I got slipped out 2.5%, taking me from minus 4.5% to minus 7% on my account. Bro, I was so mad. I contacted support, told them, bro, I was completely break even. I went break even like 30 minutes before news. Talking about you've experienced slippage and blah blah blah. I was vexed. But anyway, we're gonna keep trading the account until I do decide to purchase a new funded account, which will probably be like at the end of the month, and then I'll start trading that. I'll still trade this at the same time. For example, any trade I do enter on my new funded account, I'll place on this, just because this is already a funded account. I can already make money from this account. So even though the rules are annoying, if I can make money, I can make money. Do you know what I mean? I'm not gonna stop myself from the potential of being able to do that. It's a bit annoying, but it is what it is. Hoping that this trade can come into TP, or come tap me in and come to TP, just to bring me back out of that. I just want to recover that loss. It looks like we're gonna push straight away from the zone, but it is what it is. I'll update you on what happens. Yo people, so as you can see, we didn't get tapped into the trade. Right about direction so far. I can't say completely right about direction because I can only confirm that I am right once we get to 3R, because at 3R I would go break even and take some money off the table. However, we haven't reached that point yet, so I would still essentially be in risk on this trade. Like I said, we have come down. We Bro, look at this. Actually, look at this. Look how close we were to getting Phil G. G. Bro, don't backspeed it. Bro. Back tomorrow, man. Not tomorrow. It's Friday, Saturday tomorrow. Back on Monday, man. Fuck this shit. Yo, people, what is good? As you may or may not know, I'm not too sure how I've done this video. So I'm not sure if I added the clips in where I was speaking about why I'm done with Rocket 21. I think I will. So you probably understand what I'm about to explain. However, we are about to enter a trade on Euro USD. Actually, we were going to enter a trade on Euro USD in the 3 to 4 p.m. silver bullet window. However, we haven't been tapped in. As on top of that, we are going to be trading on a demo for the next 10 days, or literally like 8 days for this week, just to keep up to date with the markets. Because like I said, I am getting a new funded account at the end of the month once money comes in. So that's obviously why I'm trading on demo, just to keep up to date with entering trades, making sure I'm doing everything right, keeping up to date with the market. I'm going to keep my psychology where it needs to be, keep my head in the game, so when I do get this new funded account and get my login details and everything, I can just go straight into it. And I think I'm also going to get a funded account that allows me to trade on Trade Locker. So I want to use this week to just get used to using Trade Locker instead of DXTrade. But yeah, just thought I would come and update you guys about that. We didn't get tapped into this. I need to go and get rid of my, what am I saying? I need to go get rid of my limit order, my sell limit on Trade Locker right now. So I'll go and do that. But yeah, completely done with the Rocket 21, as you would have known from the last clips, or if you have already seen the video that I uploaded about it. Because this video, Mastering the Markets Season 1 Episode 4 Part 2, won't be coming out for another 10-11 days, whereas the video about why I'm stopping with Rocket 21 is going up today on the 20th. So if you only watch Mastering the Markets, you will only just understand now. You only found out now that I've stopped with my funded account, whereas if you watched it, you would understand from then. But I feel like I'm waffling now, so I'll just end this clip and I'll catch you tomorrow. Actually, I don't know. Let's have a look now and see. Will you catch me tomorrow? You will not catch me tomorrow. See, that's the pound. That's not the euro. So tomorrow I'll come to the charts for Euro USD and see what happens at around 8 to 9 for the new London session silver bullet open, and then yeah, we can trade New York session open, Euro USD, GBP, JPY, and all that good stuff. So manners. Yo people, so as you can see, my original bias changed. I originally was going to go for a sell off of the sweep of London session highs and then look for a 3 to 4 p.m. silver bullet to the downside. However, I saw that just got cool. However, I saw that bearish market structure was not maintaining, and we had a bullish impulse to the upside, creating a fair value gap in the 3 to 4 p.m. range, in a bullish sentiment. So I placed my order on this fair value gap here. As you can see, we got tapped in, almost got stopped out, and went to TP. Obviously, like I said to you, I am trading currently on demo for the next week, as I explained in the last clip. As you can see, where is trades? Here you go. Proof of entry, proof of trade. Let me move my camera for you. There you go. You can see that. Blah, 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 blah. I placed a buy. We got tapped out as a sell order for the position to close. Manners. Yo people, I placed a trade this morning on EU, as you can see. However, I forgot to record because I was doing it as I was getting ready to leave for training. So let me just mark this out properly. As you can see, we came into the 8 to 9 p.m. or 8 to 9 a.m. London session open silver bullet time frame. As you can see, we were printing before, as we were coming into London session, we were printing bullish market structure, low, We broke this high, as you can see here. So let me just mark it out to make sense for you. We broke this high here on a 5-minute time frame, so I would class this as a break of structure, as I believe if I went on, maybe I'm wrong, let's see. No, I am correct. So here, as you can see, we had a break of structure here because this point between here and here would have been a change of character. So we had a 5-minute break of structure going into London session, proving to me, maybe potentially, we are looking for bullish price action. We came down and filled in this fair value gap here before London session, or literally on London session open. We filled in a fair value gap that was formed during Asian session. Let me leave that there for more understanding. We pushed up, we whipped off of this high here, we pushed down, we pushed above, another break of structure here, we pushed above these equal highs. Let me just mark that out. Let me type in highs. We pushed above these equal, why did it not, there we go, equal highs. Then we created a 5-minute fair value gap between this candlestick, and this candlestick. Limit, or put a fair value gap so you can place it out. Limit on the top of the fair value gap. When it's a small fair value gap like this, I tend to put my limit on the top. When it is a larger fair value gap, I like to see the 50% get tested. So I placed my limit on the top, got tapped in, middle of training, or once I got to training, I was finished with my warm up, I realized that we had hit TP on this trade. So I'm currently looking now for, I don't believe we will sweep out highs or lows, London session highs or lows right now on EU. However, GBP, JPY, we are looking like we've printed a lot of bullish structure during London session. I believe that this may potentially be the high of the day because I would like to continue selling GBP, JPY as we have come up to this, I'm noticing now, 4-hour demand zone, supply zone, blah, 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 mark that out. We've come up to it and we are wicking off of it. So if this candlestick closes in 8 minutes and 42 seconds as a doji, bearish doji like this, it'll give me even more confirmation to sell. I would prefer to see, number one, now it is London session open, New York session open. When it comes to New York session open, what I like to see, let me get rid of this. I like to see a sweep of the session highs, retracement down, break some sort of structure here, and then a retracement into this supply zone that gets created here, which is where I place my limit order. Boom, stops above the liquidity sweep, and then target down to London session lows. We will take 50% off at 3R, which would be roughly around here. Very quickly, that could get hit. We'll take 50% of the position off there, and we'll let the rest run to full TP. That's what I'm looking for right now, but I would, like I said, I will need to see a bit more confirmation based on the way this 4-hour candlestick closes, as we could class this also as a higher time frame liquidity sweep. If we have this higher time frame liquidity sweep here, let me put on the 2-hour to show you. If this gets swept out and we push down below, then I won't necessarily need to wait for a, why did I put that as break of structure? That's a liquidity sweep. I won't necessarily need to wait for a sweep of London session highs because we've already swept out higher time frame liquidity. London session highs would be a 5-minute liquidity sweep, whereas, or 5 you could class it as a 15, I would class it as a 5 just because that's why I like to trade. Whereas that higher time frame liquidity sweep would be classed as a 2-hour liquidity sweep and therefore would hold more weight and price will react off of that. So I'll wait for the next 10 minutes, see how we close here, and I'll get back to you. Yo people, so we have got our details for the new funded account. As you can see, I am logged in here. It says demo because it is still stage 1, but I'm logged in, ready to go on this 10k funded account, as you can see here. Now the beautiful thing about this account is that the rules are different so that I can actually trade how I want to trade on this account. So what I believe I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to swing trading GBP JPY. So I've got my analysis here. We came into this daily demand zone down here. Now we've dropped onto the 4-hour, low, high, showing we're bullish. We broke above this psychological level and bounced in this range. Then we broke above this psychological level, but this was first level of support, this was second level of support. If we go onto the 4-hour, this is a H4 double bottom. Once this gets broken, then we can consider this a fully formed H4 double bottom, 4-hour double bottom. However, just from what it looks like in my experience in the market swing trading, I would still class this as a double bottom, simply because then you drop onto the 1-hour and right next to the H4 double bottom, in this zone, you have a support. We push up to this psychological zone at 193. We drop back down to 192.250, and we create a H1 double bottom that is confirmed once we break this neckline. So this H1 double bottom was confirmed once we broke this neckline. This neckline also lined up with the 193 psychological level, which we broke above. We came back down to find some sort of support. Broke above again, above the 193 500 psychological level. As you can see, with swing trading GBP JPY, I simply just use levels. It's very, very simple for me. I also combine this in tandem with EMAs, but I'll get to that in a moment. So as you can see, we came above the 193 psychological level again, with a lot of momentum. So if we drop down to the 30-minute time frame, I will be waiting for either a 30-minute, it'll be the 15-minute. So actually, yeah, a 30-minute candlestick closure above this candle here to get in for a break of structure, to get in for a buy. Stops either below here, but I might bring my stops all the way below here, which was where we retested before breaking the 193 500. This is a more sensible stop loss, so I might go there depending on how we push above this zone. If we push above very impulsively, then I may put my stop loss here, because if we get an impulsive move, then this area is strong. If we don't get an impulsive move, then this area is stronger, because this led to an impulsive move. Does that make sense? Now, if I have my stop loss there, I will be aiming for buy side liquidity up here, which will be about a 1 to 3.4 risk to reward ratio. Now, what I wanted to talk about as well as this, you could just go off of this analysis. However, let's go over to here and let's turn on my EMAs. So with my swing trading strategy, if we are above the EMA, let me just actually get rid of, no, I can show you this. So the red EMA is a 50 EMA. I use this for overall direction and overall bias in tandem with market structure. So the 50 EMA is the average price of the last 50 candles. So on a higher time frame, if you're on a 4 hour, it's the average price of the last 50 4-hour candles. So when it comes to using it as a market bias to help create a market bias, it's very good, because imagine the average price of the last 50 4-hour candles is represented by this red line. So if we're above, you can say that on average we are bullish. If we are below, you can say on average we are below. So I use the 50 EMA on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. As you can see, we are below. We are above, which means supports my bullish bias. And then you have a 14 and an 8. The 8 is the white line, the 14 is the blue line. What I do, I use the 50 for bias, like I said. Then we drop down onto the 1 hour. If everything has crossed over on the 1 hour, then I can decide I'm looking for a trade. So then I look for an entry. So now you can see we've come down here. We've retested this area. We're currently retesting the 14 EMA. So let's drop down onto the 30-minute. As you can see, still crossed over. Obviously on the higher time frame, we crossed over. So this is the perfect market sentiment or market situation for me, because everything has crossed over. All my EMAs have crossed over. My lower time frame EMAs, which I use my 8 and my 14 for entry signals as well as candlestick structure, and then my 50 EMA is a higher time frame confirmation, because this is still the average of the last 50 candlesticks, no matter what time frame you're on. So this red line is the average of the last 50 30-minute candles. So we're still above it, and we're retesting it on the 30-minute. In tandem with the fact that we have come down to the 193 500 psychological level, bear in mind there's all these other psychological levels and reasons for entry as well, or for looking for the buy. However, just on trading view, you can't have 3 indicators unless you pay. And I'm on Trade Locker. I don't need to pay for Trade Locker. Because this is what my prop firm's on, and it allows you to use whatever. So that's why I'm using the EMAs here, because I like to use them as a assistant, not as a, oh, okay, the EMAs show this, let's buy, let's sell. So once I've done all my other analysis, as well as using a 50 EMA, the first thing I will do is look where we are on the 50 EMA. Then that will help me decide where I want to then look for an entry. I will then come, put the 14, the 8 on, and look for other confluences within the market with general just price action. So like I said, we've come down here now, and then if we go into the 15-minute, I am simply just waiting for a break of this high here, a break of structure here, then we'll enter a buy, stops below like I said, and we'll target buy side liquidity. Very, very simple stuff. Very, very simple stuff. That's how I trade swing trade, GBP, JPY, and it's worked well for me in the past. That's what allowed me to pass my first funded account, the Rocket 21 one that I've literally just decided to forget about because of the stupid rules. So we're going to be swing trading GBP, JPY, and then also scalping Euro USD because I just like scalping Euro USD in the silver bullet hours. So we'll be looking now for a 5-minute fair value gap to create itself, and then we'll be looking to get into some form of buy off of it if the opportunity rises. If not, we'll just be looking for GBP, JPY today. I've just come to realize I might get in this trade slightly preemptively because if we come to the 4-hour time frame, remember what I was just explaining about how this strategy works. If we come to the 4-hour time frame, we crossed over, all of the EMAs crossed over down here. We came up, we retested the EMAs, and then we would have broken some sort of psychological level and support level or resistance level here. Resistance level here. Then if we drop down again, we've crossed over on all of the EMAs here, and if I saw this last night, yeah, this was in the middle of the night last night, so I didn't. If I saw this, I would have entered. It would have been the same thing as entering here, getting my entry when this candle closed above that, stop loss below here, TPs all the way to wherever TPs would be. That's what I would have done if I was awake, because that happened in Asian session. This is an Asian crossover pair. So now essentially I'd be waiting for the same thing to enter here to put my stop loss here as well. So this trade entry is still technically valid. I'll just be getting in later, but it doesn't matter that I'm getting in later because my overall TP would be this buy side liquidity up here / here, which means that if I get in now, stops there, I believe. Is that where they are? Yep, stops there. I'll still be getting a 1 to 4. So I'm going to get into this trade now, preemptively, not wait for this second break of structure on this zone here, because like I said, this is technically the same trade. This is technically the same trade. I'm just getting in a bit later because of what I've noticed, if that makes sense. And like I said to you, if we did get in here, I could potentially put my stop loss here. However, it's not as safe of an option as to put my stop loss here, because if my stop loss comes taken out here, then trade is invalidated because this is where we first crossed over on all of the EMAs. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna get in now. I'm gonna go sort out my stop loss, take profit, all of that. So guys, as you can see, I am entered into the trade. I have my entry here, stop loss here. I was thinking again to potentially wait for this high to get broken, but what I might do once this high gets broken is I entered this position here with 0.5% risk. What I might do once that gets broken is I might enter another position like this, stop loss here, and then TP where TP was, but enter this with another 0.5%, so that in total the whole overall trade is half 8%, or what's the word, 1% risk. Because it makes sense to do what I just did, but then it also makes sense because this trade essentially, right, would have just been a break and a retest entry, right? Whereas what I said I was going to do initially would have been a break, retest, or a break, retest, and then another break, a break of structure. Does that make sense? So both trades would be valid. This one, like I said, I just got in a bit late. Perfect entry would have been here, would have been there, and then stop loss or TP all the way. So the initial trade I was meant to get in would be the same as if I got in this trade here and went like this and then put my stop loss or TP wherever it needs to be. Does that make sense? So depending on how we do break this zone up here, I might add another layer to this position. Yo people, as you can see, I have a limit order placed. Let me also show you real quickly. I have a limit order placed on GBP USD. Let me move my camera so you can see basically what I just had shown you on, wow, what's going on there? What I had just shown you on Trading View. So we've got the 5 minute fair value gap that's formed during the 3 to 4 p.m. window. Literally limit on it. Stop loss below the lows or below the 3 candlestick pattern that created the fair value gap. TPs, let me sort this out. TP will be up here at these Asian session highs. So it'll be a 4.39 risk to reward if we get tapped in. I'll update you if we get tapped in or if we don't. GBP JPY is also looking like it is going to reverse in our direction. Very strong 2-hour candlestick that potentially could close like this. I'm hoping in the next 27 minutes this closes very bullishly like this, and we can head up to TP because I've been in drawdown ever since I entered this. So it's been stressful, but that's the life of a swing trader. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, if this moves up without tapping me in and we get messed up, like come on, tap me in and then move, come on, just one more bit. Yeah, okay, we're in. Okay, cool, we'll be in on Trade Locker. I'm getting gassed, but this could literally come and just smash through smash through stop loss, but we're in. I'll update you on what happens. So we're most likely about to get stopped out on this trade. As you can see, we're going straight to stop loss. Let me move to my right screen so you can see. We are most likely literally about to get stopped out on this. Yeah, and we are out of the trade just like that. Is what it is. That's the good thing about this trading model. When you're wrong quickly. When you're right, you know you're right quickly, and you can readjust. You can move stop loss to break even fairly quickly and things like that. Yeah, that's just a notification from Trade Locker telling me I've been stopped out. Is what it is. First trade on the account, or second trade on the account. First trade on the account is currently sitting just below entry. I am still very confident in this trade. I'm very confident in this trade. We came down, as you can see, on the 4-hour to test this 50 EMA to and reject it. Same on the 2-hour. We rejected it on the 2-hour very nicely. So I am assuming, or I am hoping and confident that price is going to rally up to the upside. Hopefully we can get some sort of push up into at least 2 RR today before the end of the night, so I can go to break even and sleep easily. But that's it for today, or that's it for the 3 to 4 p.m. session. I'll update you later on tonight if there's anything to update you on with GBP JPY. If not, man, it's until tomorrow. Good morning, people. As you can see, we have entered a Euro USD buy, simply because if you see this zone here, these are Asian session lows which we swept out. Let me put this as liquidity. Asian session lows that we swept out on the lower time frame, like the 1 minute. You can see we swept these Asian session lows out, create a change of character, break of structure, and then on the 5 minute during London session open, silver bullet, we created this 5 minute fair value gap which I entered off of. I don't think I got quite the best of the fill. I think I got filled in like here because I had to enter on a market execution, but we're going to take this up to Asian session highs, and I'll update you with what happens later if we get stopped out or we get hit into take profit. But for me, this is a very good setup because it just, everything lined up perfectly. I marked out as a 8 out of 10 on my trading dashboard, not my trading dashboard, my trading log. An update on GBP JPY, we are still holding strong at this 193 psychological level. However, we're not getting the push that I desired, so we're probably going to be out of that soon. So as you can see, we were stopped out of that trade. We headed in the right direction. It was a very nice reaction we did get, which is why I did mark it out as an 8 out of 10 setup and trade entry on my journal. but obviously the markets just weren't with us this morning, so it is what it is. We'll be back. Let's see. I'm not sure what news we have today. We have GBP news just after New York session, so maybe we get into another trade on EU potentially later in New York session, or the 3 to 4 p.m. silver bullet. We'll see. Yo people, so as you can see, we hit stop loss on GBP JPY in tandem with stop loss on Euro USD that I spoke about this morning. That brings us to minus 2% on the account, because I took this loss this morning for 0.5. We entered a trade the other day on GU 0.5, and that got stopped out. And then this GBP JPY loss is 1%. So we are down 2% on the funded account stage 1 right now. However, I mean, the first 3 trades of the account, I remember on my last dashboard with Rocket 21, I had a 45% win rate. So taking 3 losses in a row isn't something that's too crazy, because my next ones might be wins, and risk to reward ratio says that my next trade might just bring us completely out of drawdown. So it is what it is, part of the game. Let's get rid of this, let's get rid of this, and everything. And yeah, I will be looking to enter another trade about around 2 p.m. I'll be looking for an opportunity at 2 p.m. after the liquidity gets induced from New York session open. We'll be looking for something on EU or GU, but I'll update you then. Manners. Yo people, so as you can see, I have placed a limit order on the 50% of this fair value gap, as I do believe that price wants to draw to London session highs right now. I was originally overall bearish due to the 4-hour time frame. However, as we opened up in New York, we swept out this low very small, very barely. We swept out this low, and then we've created bullish structure. We've pushed past these highs here, which makes me believe that the next draw on liquidity will either be here, but most likely London highs. So I've placed my limit order on the 50% of this zone, because I wasn't happy with getting in for a 2.45 risk to reward when I had already lost 2 trades today. So I wanted to get in for a 3.2 at least. We might not get tapped in, because as you can see, we're coming down to the zone here. We might just miss out on this trade simply because, like I said, I'm entering on the 50%, but I do believe we will draw to this London session high, and I'll update you on if we hit stop loss or take profit as always. Yo, as you can see, what I said has come to pass. We are shooting for London high liquidity pool, and we did not get tapped in. Like I said, I only wanted to get into this trade if it could offer me 3 risk to reward, simply because I've already taken 2 losses today. Unfortunately, we didn't get tapped in because I put my limit at a 50%. If I put my limit at the top, we would have been tapped in, and we would have been shooting for TP right now. But what I have to go and do is let me show you my right screen. Boom. I have to go and close out this position, because there's no point in me waiting for price to come back down to this zone now, when we've already had such an explosive move off of it. If I did decide to wait until the last 15 minutes of the silver bullet hour to close, or to come to pass, most likely what would happen, even if we did come back down here, we've pushed up so much now that if we do come back down here, we're probably just invalidating this and going lower. Because if you drop down, even though it's a 5-minute strategy, if you drop down, look at this, to 1 minute, or even a 3 minute. Now let's do the 1 minute. The last zone really would be here. And if this zone gets invalidated, then the whole 5-minute idea is just invalid. So there's no point in sometimes holding on, hoping for price to come back to your entry when you've already had such an impulsive move like that. It's just nonsensical. It doesn't make sense. And we will simply just have to wait for tomorrow. I was potentially going to come here and try and get in on a GJ move, because we didn't even retest this area at all. But where would we be going to? New York or London session highs up here. There is a potential that we could get into that, and I might think about it depending on how we close in this next 5 minutes, but I'll update you. If not, then if I don't record again, it is because I've not entered this. How do I end this? There we go. I have actually just placed a limit order on GBP JPY simply because we are printing nice structure to the upside, and we do have the potential to fill in this zone and then rally up to London session highs up here before we continue on our bearish market structure. I do think that either this high needs to get taken out, and even if I do get in and get tapped in and bring it to here, that is a 1 to 3. I would close out at least 50%, most likely 75% of the position there, and then let the rest potentially run up to London session highs. So we will see what does actually happen, and I'll let you know. I feel like that's all these videos end up being. I'll see what happens and I'll let you know. We'll see what happens and I'll let you know. We'll see what happens and I'll let you know. But at the end of the day, that's trading, isn't it? At the end of the day, I can't really make anything happen. I can only show you what I'm doing. And to be fair, this is one thing. I might do another video on my channel that literally is like a 30-second minute video. I just want to explain that these videos aren't meant to be entertaining. These videos aren't meant to be like something you watch in your spare time because you want to be entertained. This is me simply documenting what I'm doing within the trading journey, so that then when I do get to where I want to be, I've got a whole document of shit that people can look at. So no one can come on my thing and be like, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing, he's just selling something, blah, blah, blah. Listen, even though I don't intend on ever selling something, I say that now, and I probably will get to where I want to be and realize I could just make more money than I am making from trading now by selling a course. So I'm just documenting the journey because, number one, documenting the journey allows me to watch the videos back and see mistakes I'm making and things I could have done differently. And then number two, like I said, it just gives me that validity once I get where I want to be, for people to be able to see, right, this brother's uploaded hundreds and hundreds of videos, or 50 videos, and there's hundreds of hours of content on his channel of him showing when he used to be losing trades 24/7, and now he's wherever he is. So I wanted to just not even preface this video because this is going to be in the middle of the video. I wanted to just say that these videos aren't meant to be like entertaining. I'm not trying to go out of my way to make these videos entertaining. I'm not trying to go out of my way to make people want to watch these videos. If the right content, if the right viewers come along, people that are entertained by this, people that are interested about this, people that do want to watch my journey, then they'll watch it, innit? But I just want to make sure that I make that known. I'm not trying to make these videos entertaining because that's not what it is. At the end of the day, this is what I'm trying to learn. This is what I'm trying to become successful at, and this is what I'm trying to work towards. So I'm just documenting it. Manners, people. Yo, people. Just an update. I did actually just get into GBP JPY as I said I might. I got a very, very bad feel because price came up here, and I decided that I was just going to get rid of my limit because we were coming very close to the end, and I thought I might get up in the next 2 minutes and leave. However, I just came back just before I was about to get up and leave and realized that we did come back down to this fair value gap very quickly, which means we were drawn to it for a specific reason to get filled in. I entered on a market execution instead of a limit just because it happened so quickly. I had to just get in. So I'm in GBP JPY right now. We could come straight to stop loss, but TPs are all the way at London session highs, and we'll see what happens in the next couple of hours. I'll update you on that, but yeah, I'm in that. The reason I am happy to get in on this, like I was saying before on Euro USD, I didn't get in on Euro USD because let's just explain. So I wanted to get in on Euro USD in the middle of the fair value gap in order to get at least a 1 to 3 RR. Now, price came up here and I said, cool, I'm going to get rid of my limit because we've pushed away from it very aggressively. And even if we do come back down, we will invalidate it. The reason I'm happy to get in on GBP JPY, even though we pushed away from it, is simply because we didn't fill it in at all. On Euro USD, we would have got filled in if we put our limit on the top of the fair value gap. Does that make sense? So people did get filled in, and this fair value gap did get filled, essentially. Whereas GBP JPY, we didn't tap into it at all, which is why I wanted to get in here, and that's what I was looking to do. However, like I said, I had to get in on a market execution, and I got a little bit of a bad fill quite far away from the fair value gap. I'm still in because it can be a 4 risk to reward ratio trade. But yeah, that's just the sense behind why I was happy to get in GBP JPY, even though we pushed away from it because we never filled it in the first place. I just wanted to make sense of that in case people thought I'm contradicting myself. That's the only reason I'm happy to get in that, and we're in that, hoping to get up to London session highs. I will probably go break even if we take out this high here, just because that's 2R, and I would happily secure, not profits, but happily go break even and risk free at 2R. So I'll let you know what happens. Yo people, yo, as you can see, we are up on this trade. Let me go to TradingView to show you. We are up. We have pushed past this first zone of buy side liquidity, so I'm going break even right here. Let me show you as I do it. I could just drag this to my entry, confirm. So now I'm break even on the trade. Regardless of what happens, I cannot lose anything. I'm not going to close out, because if this goes all the way where I'm expecting it to go up to the London session highs, it will break up. It will bring us back to break even on the account, I believe. So I'm going to let this run fully, because I would rather break even and be still minus 1.5%. What was that? What am I trying to say? I'd rather let us go break even and let us still be at minus 1.5%, then close half now and be minus 1%, with the potential of it going all the way, because then we still won't be. Actually, it might make more sense to close half of it now and let the rest of it go full. I might close half of it now. I'll make the next decision. I'll make that decision in the next probably 5-10 minutes. I think I will let it run fully though, as volume is showing like it does want to continue pushing up. So guys, I just closed out 75% of the position, as if we do continue up with the last 0.25% of the position, I do believe it will bring us to a nice point on the account where we will only be down about 0.5%. So I closed out for, what would that be? I closed out for 0.75% of that position, or 0.5% of the account, hoping the rest does push up all the way to full volume. We'll see what happens. As you can see, price is going a bit nuts right now. But this is the beauty of my new prop firm, bro. The beauty of my new prop firm. You know, most prop firms have the rule where if you've been in a trade, or if you get in a trade, or you're in a trade, for example, you cannot close or open a trade, move stop loss, move take profit, hit stop loss, hit take profit 4 minutes before, 4 minutes after news. So 8-minute window. Some prop firms are 2 minutes before, 2 minutes after. And if you do within that time period, you get a soft breach or a hard breach, depending on the prop firm. The beautiful thing about my prop firm is if you've been in the trade already and news happens and you hit stop loss, you hit take profit, you hit break even, nothing happens, because you were already in the trade. So we were already in this trade. I'm actually just so happy, fam. You can see on my face, it just gives me another level of just, you can relax kind of thing. It's just nice to have a prop firm that's got much better rules, coming from the prop firm that I was with. Some stupid rules to this prop firm now. We are also wanted to talk about, bro, my brains is so many things I'm thinking about. I'm just happy that I've got this new prop firm with these rules, because I don't have to get worried about the news that just came out, the FOMC that just came out, because regardless of what happens, I'm already break even, and even if I hit stop loss, take profit, it doesn't matter, because I was already in the trade. And I think that's how it should be with most prop firms. That just makes sense. Those rules make sense. If you're already in the trade and you didn't open the trade like just right before, just right after to gamble news, it shouldn't matter. You shouldn't get breached. But we have London session highs right here. These are London session highs here, and then we have Asian session highs. Depending on how this news candle closes, I think I'm gonna let price run all the way to Asian session highs. I believe we might come and take out Asian session highs. So yeah, I just wanted to update you if that's what's going on. News has just dropped. We're in profit still, obviously. We haven't been stopped out at break even, and I'll update you later. Good morning, people. As you can see on GBP JPY yesterday, we came up to, it might be easier for me to actually show you this on Trade Looker. So yesterday we came up to this zone. I took half my position, or 75% of my position off. Told you that I was waiting for London highs to get taken out and Asian highs to get taken out. I was hoping price would come up to Asian highs during during overnight, during the Asian session. We got stopped out at break even, completely fine with me. But what I'm looking to do now is we have had a sweep of these Asia range lows, as you can see, sweep, and then if we go down to the 3 minute, we have had a change of character here, and then a break of structure here, pushed up a bit. I'm looking for a re-entry or entry into this buy off of this 5 minute demand zone here. Let me bring this up a little bit so I don't not get tagged in. I've set a limit on trade locker. I will be aiming for Asia session highs. We either get stopped out immediately because price can be seen as bearish on the 4 hour. We've got high, low, high, low, high, low. So lower high than this, lower low, or low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. However, I also have to take into consideration that on a daily time frame, we are looking bullish. Daily time frame, we have broken this high here. 4 hour time frame, we could also say that we have had this sweep of liquidity. We have swept out liquidity here. We have also swept out this liquidity here, and that is high time frame liquidity. So because of that, we have had a 4 hour time frame liquidity sweep, followed by what might now be on a lower time frame change of character. Like I said, we've had a 15 minute change of character, and did this break above? No, this is an equal high. So we've had a 15 minute break of character and a 5 minute, or a 15 minute change of character, 5 minute break of structure, blah blah blah. I will be looking to enter off of this supply zone up to Asian highs. However, like I said, if this liquidity, if the market does not see this liquidity as enough to move up for the day, then we will get stopped out of this trade very quickly. However, my trading plan says that I need to wait for a liquidity sweep of a zone, change of character, break of structure, and a retracement for my entry on a supply zone, fair value gap, or any other structural points. So this is a perfect entry for me. As you can see, I have a pending order on GBP JPY for a buy, and let's see what happens, man. Like I said, if the liquidity sweep didn't give enough fuel, then we will get stopped out of this, but I'm completely fine with that because it's still early on the funded account. We're minus 1.25% because of that 0.75% win yesterday, so we'll see what happens. And I am confident in this Asia range low sweep to give enough fuel in order to hit Asia highs today. Yo, what's good, people? So with the trade, as you can see, we got stopped out. Like I said, there was a potential that we got stopped out because this 4 hour liquidity sweep might not have been powerful enough or enough fuel to push price to the upside. However, this trade fit my plan perfectly. Everything played out perfectly in order for me to enter this trade. So this is one of those losses that comes with the game, and it is what it is. Let's have a look at news real quick. There's Euro news coming out at 1, USD news coming out at 1. So depending on how news affects price action, I may trade the 3 to 4 p.m. silver bullet. However, we'll have to see what that news does to price. Manners. Yo, people. So I'm in this GU trade. As you can see, price came all the way up here and wicked me out. I actually, on the chart, it doesn't look like it did. But on my trading, let me show you closed positions. I got stopped out of this trade. So I got stopped out due to some slippage. So what I've done is I noticed that as soon as I got stopped out, price essentially, well, it says that I'm stopped out now. I don't know why. A couple of seconds ago it didn't. What was I saying? I was saying, yeah, as soon as I got stopped out, I noticed that price dumped down like this. So I thought to myself, cool, if we can get into it, I thought I got slipped out of the trade. I'm coming to realize now that TradingView just didn't update and I got stopped out. Actually, what I'm getting shown here is what I was getting shown on my trade locker. A minute ago it was like this, so I thought, cool, if we come back down and come up, because we crashed down as soon as we stopped me out. And then I've decided to re-enter this trade because I thought I just got unlucky from slippage, so I thought the trade was still valid, and I still do think that potentially the trade is still valid, and that is a massive 5 minute doji, and on the 15 minute it's looking nice. So I've re-entered the position. I'm essentially just gonna I was just gonna change it on my trade, what's the word I'm looking for, stuttering bear, I can't think. My trading journal. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a whole nother position for 0.5% risk because I'm happy. What did I lose? I lost a GBP trade this morning, GBP JPY trade this morning. Just lost this trade now. And if I lose this trade again, the re-entry of this trade, then I'm done for the day. That'll be 1.5% on the day, bringing me to minus 2.75% on the account. So I'm happy to take this loss if it is an actual loss and not just getting unlucky from getting stopped out by like 1 pip. We'll see what happens. Yo people, as you can see, I'm in this trade still. We've come down to, I had a, maybe on TradingView, no, on Trade Locker it will show no. So I had, we got in, as I was explaining, I got slipped out, or TradingView just wasn't updating properly. I had my stop at 67, like that, and I got stopped out by literally 0.01 pip on this trade. Originally, as you could see in the last clip, TradingView just happened to update and show me that I actually did get stopped out of this trade. However, I re-entered because we dropped down heavily as soon as I got stopped out. I had an alert on my trade locker at this point here, which was 2 RR, I believe, just under 2 RR. So at 2 RR, I had no. If I put it down, yeah, just under 2 R. Just under 2 R, I had my stops or an alert set to go break even on the trade, and I did go break even on the trade at that point. We look like we are probably going to come back to break even on this trade. I am break even. Let me just do that, because if I can show you on Trade Locker my stops are at break even. If I lose this trade, let me go in. If I lose the trade, as you can see here, actually let me move my camera a lot. As you can see here, I lose nothing if we do actually come back to entry, because as I said, I've gone break even. I am confident that this trade can potentially come all the way down to London session lows. When it comes to London session lows and TP/take profits, one thing I have found beneficial that I do, just from the data I've collected over the past 2.5 years, I would say 4 years, but I've been trading 4.5 years, 4 years, probably been trading 1.5 years seriously. So I would say in the last 1.5 years, one thing I've realized is a lot of people would put their take profit right here at London session lows. And that's good, and that's all well and good. But something I have noticed, maybe it's the brokers I've been with, maybe it's the prop firms I've been with, Rocket21 in the past. I'm now with Quant Tackle, as you guys know. I've found that sometimes if I put my trade here, price will actually come all the way just to the zone and then carry on back up and go, for example, break even. Or I might move my stops to, let's say, this point here, and price will come all the way down here and then stop me out. I say stop me out because I will get slipped out, for example. Not slipped out, but the slippage or the spread won't actually detect the fact that my full TP has been hit. So what I tend to do in situations like this, let me just revert this, go back. What I tend to do is I go, for example, if I'm trading on the 5-minute time frame and full TP is all the way down here, what I will do is I will actually consider the body close as sell side or buy side liquidity as full TP. I won't go for the full wick, because sometimes what I've noticed, like I said, due to spread, I won't actually win the trade once we come down here. So what I've done nowadays and recently, in probably the past 6 months, 5 months, maybe even 4 months, it's something I've done recently, is I will sacrifice, for example, this, how much is this? I will sacrifice this 1.7 pips in order to know that we come here. Most likely we are going to come all the way down here, but if we come all the way down here, I know at least if I come and I put my TP here, I'm going to get filled on that close order, and I am going to win the trade. So for me, buy side liquidity, I always buy side, sell side liquidity. I don't go for wick. For take profit, I don't go for wick. I normally go for the body, the candlestick closure, just to be safe, because I'm more happy knowing that out of 10 trades, For example, when I was going for wick, let me say it like this: when I was going for wick, full sell side liquidity, full buy side liquidity, out of the, let's say, the 10 trades that I will do that for, 7 of them I will get filled in and it will hit, but 3 of them will get messed up and I won't get filled in and I won't make full TP because of spread. So I thought to myself, cool, if I can just increase that amount to every single time we come to where I want to, I get filled and I make the profit, I'm more happy of that than just going for the extra 5 pips, the extra 7 pips, that extra 10 pips, however much the wick is. Even, for example, and I mean it totally in the point that even, for example, it's a wick like this. Let me get rid of the New York session open. Even if it's a wick like this, a big massive wick, I will still go for the body closure. I'll still go there because I'm happy to know that regardless of what happens, I'm going to get filled in. As you can see here, we came down to this body candlestick closure. We didn't come down to this wick. And as soon as we came down to this body candlestick closure, what happened? In this instance, we have reversed all the way back up and it looks like we're coming back to break even. So that's just something I have noticed over time, and that's something that I've just implemented into my trading over time. But essentially, I started this recording to say that, yeah, we are break even on this trade right now. We came down all the way to 2R, which was at this point here. I closed, or I went risk free. I didn't close the position because I was happy to know that if this position breaks even, I'm still 2.25% down on the account. However, if this position hit full TP, I would be completely back at break even, or I would be 0.25% down. I was happy with knowing that situation, if that makes sense. So I'm hoping overnight tonight during Asian session we can push down, maybe early London session tomorrow. I'm not going to close this trade in slight profit or anything like that because my trading plan is my trading plan. There is really no reason for me to close this trade right now. Obviously, we've had these highs, this low, for example, but if we come onto a 15-minute time frame, if we come past break even, if we come past break even on 5-minute time frame, trades invalidated, we are likely just pushing up. So I'm happy to close this trade out at break even if we do get hit at break even, and that's where I'm at the moment. Tomorrow morning, we have, what day is it tomorrow? Friday tomorrow, if forex factory would like to load. So tomorrow we have Euro news all day, so I can still trade that. We have USD news. So tomorrow I will be looking to trade GU, EU, or GJ, depending on what I want. For me, my overall bias for GJ this week was bullish. You can go to my Instagram to see my overall bias on GJ. I would like to see a 2-hour closure above this point here. This was the last high that was created on the 2-hour chart. I would like to see a 2-hour close below here or above here to then look for buys. I'm not looking for sells anymore at the moment, simply just because the daily chart is still bullish. We are still bullish on the daily, and I like to base my trades off of the daily, even though I'm scalping, unless, for example, we have a 4-hour fair value gap, 4-hour supply that's get tapped into, as we have here. We have a 4-hour supply, which is why I am then deciding to go onto the 2-hour, because this 4-hour fair value gap also is essentially, you could class it as a 2-hour fair value gap, and I probably should class it as a 2-hour fair value gap, because if it's a 2-hour and a 4-hour, you don't want to simply just consider the 4-hour just because the 4-hour holds more weight. If in this situation, this 4-hour fair value gap holds a lot of weight because it's 4-hour. However, if it can also be condensed into a 2-hour fair value gap, you should consider the fact that it is a 2-hour fair value gap, because the 2-hour fair value gap holds less weight, if that makes sense in terms of how you know how to analyze. Because you don't want to simply just assume it's a 4-hour because you know the 4 hours holds more weight. That is ignorant to the fact that it could be considered as a 2-hour. So technically this is a 2-hour fair value gap, which is why I want to wait for a 2-hour break of structure / change of character before I look for a buy on GJ. Because my overall TP, or my overall outlook on GJ was this 4-hour buy side liquidity this week, and it doesn't look like we're going to hit it because we're already on Thursday and we're nowhere near it. But if we get a 2 hour close in the morning or overnight, I'll be looking for some sort of a buy. GJ or GU, like I said, I'm in it right now. GU also is fairly bullish because the daily looks bullish to me. We have high, low, or high, low, high, low. This is a high. We have a higher high, a higher high, then this high, and then our low. On the 4 hour, we are also bullish. Low, high, low, high, low, lower high, higher low, higher high. So as of right now, I'm kind of in an indecisive situation with GU, which is what the only reason I got into this trade today is because this trade is a 2 hour. It was based off of this 2 hour fair value gap, followed by London session highs being swept out, supply being formed on the 1 minute, entered on the 1 minute supply, blah blah blah. But I've already explained that. Manners. Good morning, people. As you can see, the GBP USD trade yesterday, we got stopped out of it once, like I explained to you and showed you, but I re-entered and we hit 40p. I went break even here, as I showed. 40p got hit at 8:30 at night. This is just another thing I wanted to talk about. If you're confident in your trade, just re-enter. Don't be scared to re-enter your trade just because you've been stopped out of it. If you see something that shows you that this trade is still valid, like I did, re-enter. Don't be scared to pull the trigger, do you know what I mean? Anyway, that made us 2%, so we're now back to basically break even on the account. I wanted to talk about this EU trade that I've just entered. So as you can see, we have pipped out Asia range high, and we are also in a 2 hour fair value gap, as you can see here. Boom, boom, boom. Drop down to the 3 minute, as you can see. So we had the Asia range high sweep. We've also had lower time frame change of character, break of structure, even on the 3 minute change of character, break of structure here. I've placed a limit order on the demand zone, on the supply zone that was created as a result of that push up past Asia range highs. So I've got my limit order set there. I was going to put my stops all the way close like this just to get a really good risk to reward ratio. However, I didn't want to be ignorant to the fact that we have this high here. So this high here, I put my stops just above this high over here, just in case we do want to come create equal highs. My stop is just above it. I might bring it even a little bit higher in a moment, but I'm in this, I've got a pending order on this trade, and once again, it's Friday, so probably last trade of the week. I'll update you on what happens with this. Yo, as you can see, we didn't get tapped into this trade, but it did go in our direction, so we'll take the positives from it. I was gonna say we could have potentially entered off of a change of character and break of structure. However, that would have been so far away that it would have been a 1.27 risk to reward and wouldn't have been worth it. So I'm about to close the charts for the day, and this is the end of season 1, episode 4, part 2, I believe. Manners and respect, my people.